A Catnip Problem by UltraLordy. I don't know where else to go anymore because I'm still shaken up about this mess I've gotten into. Also, apologies for any errors as I'm on mobile and my hands are shaking. 2 weeks ago, I was asked by a close friend to house sit for him while he was going on vacation with his girlfriend, and I, being free for the summer, for the time. I arrived, got the keys and tour from the two of them, and met their cat, Susie. Small tabby who's been spayed and neutered. Now, I like cats. Not in the creepy old woman with 32 of them way, but enough to know that they like certain things like boundaries between strangers and catnip. Instructions were simple. Come in twice a day, make sure everything's fine with Susie, and feed her. The usual stuff. It goes smoothly for a week, and then I notice Susie's a little sad about her owners not being around. Generally moping around for more than a cat does usually. So I decided to look around the fridge in the garage, meant for ice cream and keeping some of Susie's meals cold and fresh, for something more exotic for her nightly meal to see if that helps. Nothing was particularly interesting until I got behind a few stacks and found a small glass container filled with catnip. No brand name, just a picture of a cat and the words catnip on something no bigger than something you'd find on a spice rack. I check for the date and find that it's still good. Cool, I thought. I'll just put a few pinches over her meal and let her have some fun while I close up for the night. A few hours pass and I'm back in the evening making the cat some dinner and waiting around so I can clean out the litter box and all that fun stuff. All goes normal until Susie gets a whiff of the catnip on my fingers, and she gets interested. Enough so to jump and swipe at my hand with her claws. So now I know she hasn't been declawed. Great. And then I look for the container, which I realize I've dropped in pain and excitement from Susie's little outburst. Right onto the area where the kitchen meets the carpeted living room, with catnip everywhere. So, as I try my best to keep Susie from overdosing on a full container of catnip while getting cleaning supplies at the same time, I start to notice something strange. The hardwood is fine, but the carpeted area around the catnip has stained some sort of light orange somehow. This upsets me because now I have to get an unknown stain out of a white carpet. It's already night now, and most of the stores that can rent out a steam cleaner are closed, and wet paper towels are still white as a sheet when I try scrubbing the stain out. Just the faint smell of catnip. Another thing catches my eye, however, a small dead bug about 3 feet away on the hardwood, small enough to be passed over without seeing it unless you look closely. I grab the thing with a wet paper towel and throw it away, deciding to come back with bleach from my place in the morning. And if that doesn't work, I'll just steam it out. This is where I now realized I've fucked up. I came back the next day with a bucket full of supplies that makes it look like I'm cleaning up a dead body. Almost immediately upon entering, I'm greeted with the sight of a stain so dark it's almost black. It stretched from the original ground zero to what I can only guess to be about 25% of the carpet. I curse myself for waiting and can only guess as to what made it bigger or darker. Susie isn't downstairs in her usual spots, so I just think that she's gone upstairs or out her little car door to explore the neighborhood, since she's tripped away and usually comes back overnight. I lean over and pour a small amount of bleach onto the cap and spread it in a small circle, seeing if there's any reaction. The spot where the bleach hit immediately starts to sizzle, and bugs start crawling out from the small area that I've covered. Centipedes, horseflies, and things that cannot be in carpets come out. And then they start to dig themselves out from the rest of the stained carpet. I'm not scared of bugs, but a lot of them not being the same color in the stain, slowly swarming around me, and their chunk of the carpet has done its job in freaking me out. I grab my stuff and run to the door, not really caring if I track the stain anymore. I'm opening the door and a giant fly lands on my head and bites me hard. I slap it away and slam the thing shut behind me, wiping away dark orange fly remains from my hand, which is already an unnatural red at the point. And that's where I am now. I called the exterminators and warned them about vicious bugs and the stain, but my problem is my friend, who isn't home for another 4 days. I don't know if I should call him and say his house has aggressive bugs inside with your belongings. It's not exactly my biggest concern at the moment. The biggest thing that's on my mind is the sighting of a cat's corpse that was found. Barely even recognizable as a cat since the eyes and insides were gone, leaving only patches of fur and sinewy bones in some poor old lady's yard. And then there's my hand. The bite is dark purple, and I'm about to leave for the hospital to get it checked out. It's throbbing painfully and irregularly bumpy. Afraid to see them cut it open and see what's inside. I'm not sure I want to know if it's what I think it is. So, that's it, guys. I'm in damage control, but I don't know what to do anymore. Please help me.